Good day everyone, especially to you Dr. Ria Kibir. I am Hanna Perocho from BSHM3A. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about the chapter 16 that tackles about the formalities of entry in and exit from the Philippines. So according to David Batchelor, a general manager of the Peninsula Hotel, I love this country. Tropical climate, warm and hospitable people, affordable standard of living, I can live here comfortably. So for the learning objectives, here are the learning objectives, is to identify various government requirements for foreigners to enter the Philippines, explain the importance of a valid passport when traveling, enumerate the privileges of Filipinos covered by the Balikbayan program, and also to discuss the dual citizenship law. So for the topic outline are already showed on the screen. So let's go to the introduction. The entry and stay of foreigners in the Philippines are not rights but privileges granted by the government. While the foreigners may be treated with hospitality and respect, they cannot demand to enjoy privileges that are meant only for the citizens of the host country. Like all sovereign nation, the Philippines has the full authority to control its borders and decide who can enter or leave its territory. This is a basic principle in international law where each state has the right to protect its land, people, and peace. So in this chapter will discuss the legal requirements and procedures for both foreigners and Filipinos when entering or leaving the Philippines. So let's go to the admission requirements to the Philippines. So according to the section 10, non-immigrants must present for admission into the Philippines an unexpired passport or official documents in the nature of passports issued by the government of the countries to which they owe allegiance, or other travel documents showing their origins and identity as prescribed by regulations, and valid passports, visas granted by the diplomatic or consular officers. So this means that non-immigrants or foreigners who are not planning to live permanently in the Philippines must show a valid passport that is not expired. So this passport must be issued by the government of the country they belong to. So if they don't have a passport, they can present other official travel documents that prove their identity and where they are from, as allowed by the Philippine immigration rules. In addition, they must also have a valid visa issued by the Philippine Embassy or Consulate. So there are 7 visas categories for non-immigrants. These are the temporary visitor, transient, seaman, treaty trader or investor, a foreign government official, student, and also the pre-arranged employment. So for the pre-arranged employment visa, so for the foreigners working in the Philippines, it requires the proof of job necessity, contract applicant qualification, and permits from DOLE and Bureau of Immigration. And for the Balikbayan program, it allows former Filipino citizen and overseas workers to enter visa-free for 1 year. And for the special policies by nationality, so for the Chinese nationals, it needs the multiple entry visitor visas allowed for up to 59 days. For the Indian nationals, must apply from India or place of legal residence. And for the South Africans, it needs the immigration restrictions lifted, treated as regular applicants. So for the passport types, there are 3 passport types. These are diplomatic, official, and regular. So for the diplomatic, this is for government official with diplomatic rules, while official is for the government employees on official trips, and also regular for private individual traveling for personal reasons. So let's go to the passport rules for aliens. So these aliens means foreigners. So it needs passport must be valid for at least 6 months, must carry original or certified copy at all times, and also in case of loss, must report to the police, embassy, or Bureau of Immigration. So for the Philippine passport and travel documents, it is issued by the Department of Foreign Affairs, and also travel documents are temporary, issued for emergencies or stateless persons. So let's go to the fantasy and camouflage passports. So fantasy passport is not real or valid, made by private groups or imaginary countries, and these are not accepted for travel. Like for example, the passport of a nation Beck, Conch Republic, Hot River, Irkes Nation, and Sealand, and there's many more. While the camouflage passports is like it looks like they are from a real country but are from places that no longer exist or change names. And some example countries are the Soviet Union, Burma, Ceylon, British Honduras, and also South Vietnam. So here are the visa requirements to enter the Philippines. So a visa is a stamp or sticker on a passport that shows permission to travel to a country. Having a visa doesn't always guarantee entry. Immigration officers decide at the airport. So nationals from the countries must get a visa before entering to the Philippines. So here are the countries that will visit entering the country before entering must get visa before entering the Philippines, and these are the Afghanistan, India, Iran, China, Pakistan, Russia, Sudan, and also Taiwan, Hong Kong holders, and also stateless persons, etc. So for these special conditions, Hong Kong, British national overseas, Macau are only allowed entry without visa for 7 days, and while the others not on the restricted list can enter without a visa for 21 days, and if passport is valid for 6 months and they have return ticket. So let's go to the treaty trader or treaty investor visa. So foreigners from some countries who do business or invest in the Philippines can apply for special visa. So here are the requirements. It must be developing or directing a real business, must be investing a large amount of money, must not have a criminal record or diseases, must be honest and intention and ready to leave if the visa expires. So here are the countries with investment agreements with the Philippines, and this includes the USA, Japan, Germany, Australia, Canada, Korea, China, and UK. So for the special economic zone, visas for Clark, Subic, and Cagayan. So these zones only allow foreign nationals to stay for business or tourism purposes. Like for example, in the Clark Economic Zone, they can enter without a visa for 14 days and must have a valid passport and ticket. And for the Subic Freeport Zone, same rules as Clark. And for the Cagayan Economic Zone, investors must who put in at least $150,000 can get permanent residency, and this includes their spouse and kids under 21. So the rules are that they must inform authorities if going outside the zone, must be escorted by immigration officers if leaving secured areas, and also for stays beyond 14 days or outside zone visits, a visa waiver is required. So let's go to the investor and tourist related project. So who qualifies? So foreign investors, spouse, and unmarried minor children must invest at least $50,000. And for the conditions, no criminal record involving the moral turpitude, no contagious or dangerous diseases, no institutionalized mental disorder, and also must visit the Philippines twice a year and stay at least 7 days. And for the benefits of special investor resident visa, these are they have the multiple entry visa without needing more documents, exempted from immigration and registration fees, and no need to secure alien certificate of registration. So it is also note that investor must submit an annual report to prove the investment still exists, and also a visa can be cancelled if the investment is withdrawn or transferred without approval. So here are the requirements for non-immigrant entry. So they must have a valid return ticket, and some must secure certificates of residence such as for the temporary visitors, students, prearranged employment, also registration required if staying 30 days or more. So let's go to the alien registration rules. So this alien registration rules applies to foreigners aged 14 and above staying for 30 plus days. Parents or guardians of foreign children must be below 14 staying for 30 plus days, and all must register unless admitted as temporary visitor for less than 60 days. Foreigners must also pass medical and character checks. And for their extension of stays, non-immigrants staying over 59 days must also have a register of the Bureau of Immigration, pay necessary fees. Only the commissioner of Immigration can approve or deny extension, and also the Secretary of Foreign Affairs has no authority to grant stay extension. So for the so here are the reasons. So for the exclusion of the foreigners, so this exclusion means stopping a foreigner from entering the Philippines if they are not fit or allowed to enter. So this happens before they are allowed into the country. So there are certain classes of foreigners or aliens are not allowed to enter the Philippines if they fall under these categories. So these are the reasons for exclusion. And these are the persons who are insane or were previously insane, persons with contagious or dangerous disease, persons with convicted a crime involving moral turpitude, prostitutes, or those coming for immoral purposes, and there's many more. There are 18. There are 18 reasons for exclusion shown on the screen. So for the legal basis and discussion, so based on Section 29 of the Philippine Immigration Act number 613, it follows the international law. Every state has the right to decide who may enter, and for the purpose of exclusion is that it protects public safety, protect public health, and also ensure national security. So for the exclusion process and burden of proof, exclusions orders are final unless waived by the Immigration Commissioner, and the alien must prove that they do not apply under any excluded category and must do so under oath before immigration officers or the board of the special inquiry. So for the deportation of foreigners under Section 37, deportation means removing a foreigner from the Philippines after they have entered the country, usually because they broke the law or did something wrong. So people who can be deported are those who enter the Philippines illegally or lie during entry. Those who are not really allowed to enter in the first place, those convicted of crime involving moral turpitude within 5 years of entry, those convicted of drug-related crimes, people involved in prostitution, and many more. So deportation is not just a punishment but a way to protect the country. And the president of the Commissioner of Immigration can deport someone. The foreigner must be told the reason and given a chance to defend themselves in a proper hearing, and also the foreigners or aliens must show proof that they entered the country legally. So let's go to the detention of foreign travelers. So according to the Section 25, for the purpose of determining whether aliens arriving in the Philippines belong to any classes excluded by the immigration laws, the examining immigration officers may order such aliens detained on board the vessels, bringing them in or in such other place as the officers may designate, such as a detention to be for a sufficient length of time to enable the officers to determine whether they belong to an excluded class, and their removal to such other place to be at the expense of the vessel bringing them. So this what the law says, that immigration officers in the Philippines have the power to detain arriving foreigners if they need time to check whether the traveler belongs to a group of people not allowed to enter the country, and these are called excluded classes under immigration law. So for the exit requirements, according to the Section 22, any alien about to depart from the Philippines temporarily or for permanent residence abroad shall before leaving the country apply the Commissioner of Immigration for clearance certificate. If the Commissioner finds that the applicant has no pending obligation with the government, its instrumentalities, agencies, and subdivisions, and that there is no pending criminal, civil, or administrative action which by laws requires his presence in the Philippines, the Commissioner shall issue the certificate upon surrender of the alien of all other certificates previously issued to him by the Bureau of Immigration, showing his admission and or residence in the Philippines. So this means that before leaving the Philippines or the country, foreigners or aliens, whether temporarily or for permanent residence abroad, must apply for a clearance certificate from the Commissioner of Immigration. So let's go to the hold departure guidelines. So the hold departure orders is issued under certain conditions that apply for both Filipinos and foreigners. And for the grounds for issuance include The court orders, which means in criminal or habeas corpus cases, warrants or the pursuance to an arrest or standing court order, government interest when the government or its agencies are involved, national concerns, issues affecting national security, public safety or public health, and also pending cases in criminal or deportation cases involving foreigners. So an H2O restricts the right to travel unless lifted by the Bureau of Immigration. So let's go to the policy guidelines for departing passengers. So for the Filipino passport holders, and these are the contract workers, tourists, government employees. So for the contract workers, it must show an overseas employment certificate. For the tourists, must have a round-trip ticket, and for the government employees, must present approved travel authority. So for the foreign passport holders, a tourist must have show. So for the tourist over 6 months stay, must show immigration clearance certificate, and for the residents must present immigration clearance and re-entry permits or special return certificates. So for the non-compliance with these requirements may result in denied departure clearance. So let's go to the dual citizenship law or the RA 9225. So a natural-born Filipinos who became citizens of another country do not lose their Philippine citizenship. They must file a petition with the Commissioner of Immigration for an identification certificate. So let's go to the conclusion. So the entry and the stay of foreigners in the Philippines are privileges, not rights, and governed by the law set forth by the Philippine government. While the country remains hospitable and respectable towards foreigners, it retains the sovereign right to regulate its borders, determining who can enter or leave the nation, and also this principle is rooted in international law, which emphasizes the autonomy of each country in safeguarding its territory, citizens, and peace. So understanding these legal requirements and procedures for entry and exit ensures that if both foreigners and Filipinos comply with the nation's regulation and contribute to maintaining the country's security and order. So that's all for the chapter 16 that tackles about the formalities of entry in and exit from the Philippines. So thank you for listening, and again, I'm Hanna Breath Perocho. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.